Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a platform called ZeroBrix, and it's trying to solve one of the biggest problems we have in the digital world. How in the world do you trust someone you've never even met?
So let's kick things off with a scenario that, well, probably hits a little too close to home for a lot of us, especially if you're a freelancer or you've ever hired one. You agree on a project, the price is right, and then you hit that wall. That moment where you have to ask, who goes first?
It is a classic standoff, right? The client is over here thinking, okay, if I send the money now, am I ever going to see the work I paid for? But the freelancer is on the other side, worried, if I start working without any payment, am I just going to get ripped off? It's this trust gap, and honestly, it just makes everything harder for everybody.
So this begs the question, what if the technology itself could step in and actually build a bridge over that gap? What if it could just create the trust we need automatically?
And that, right there, is the entire idea behind ZeroBrix. You can see it in their mission statement. It is all about being that bridge, taking the smooth, easy-to-use feel of the apps we already know and love and combining it with the rock-solid security of blockchain, making all that futuristic tech useful for us today.
And how they got started is actually pretty brilliant. See, instead of diving headfirst into a fully decentralized world, which can be slow and kind of clunky at first, they made a really smart choice to begin with a centralized system. This meant they could build, test, and perfect everything to make sure it was fast and reliable, like a normal app, before shifting over to being more decentralized.
So how does this bridge actually get built? Well, it really all boils down to two basic tools. These are like your entry ticket into this whole system, and they're actually super simple to understand.
First up, you've got your wallet. And the best way to think of this is like a digital vault, or maybe your digital passport. It's a secure spot that holds your unique address on the network, proving you are who you say you are, and it's where you keep all your digital stuff. They even give you a little token reward just to get you up and running.
So what's inside that wallet? Tokens. These are basically any digital asset you'd use on ZeroBrix. Some of them work just like regular money, but others can be totally unique, one-of-a-kind things, like a piece of digital art or the deed to a digital property. You've probably heard of those. They're called NFTs.
Okay, so now we have the pieces of the puzzle, the wallet and the tokens. Let's see how they come together to finally solve that problem our freelancer and client were having. And the secret sauce here is a tool called the service escrow.
Instead of taking a huge leap of faith, the whole thing becomes this really transparent four-step dance. The client puts the payment into a secure digital holding cell. That's the escrow. The freelancer can literally see the money is there, it's locked in, so they can get to work without worrying. Once the job's done, they mark it complete, the client checks the work, and boom, they release the funds. No more sleepless nights.
Now, to keep this whole automated, secure system running, ZeroBrix has a simple, transparent 5% platform fee that's applied whenever a transaction is completed successfully. That's what supports the network and helps them build new features.
But now we get to the million-dollar question, don't we? This is what keeps every freelancer up at night. What happens if you do the work, you deliver it, and the client just vanishes? They go completely silent. Now you're stuck, right?
Well, this is where the system's real safety net kicks in. That escrow contract isn't just a dumb holding account. It's smart. It has a built-in timer that you can set. So if the freelancer submits the work and the client doesn't do anything within that time frame, the contract automatically releases the payment. It completely protects the freelancer from getting ghosted.
Okay, an auto-release timer sounds amazing, but that opens up an even deeper question. Right? How do we know for sure that the rules of that contract, like the timer, can't be secretly messed with? How can we actually trust the code itself? And this is where ZeroBrix has this really unique feature they call the judiciary system. Honestly, the best way to think of it is as a digital notary. Its one and only job is to create a permanent, totally unchangeable proof of a contract's rules the second it's created.
The process here is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. When you make an agreement, the judiciary system takes a digital fingerprint of all its rules. It's a special code called a hash. That fingerprint is then stamped onto the blockchain forever as a public transaction. That means anyone, at any time, can look at the contract and verify that its rules perfectly match the original notarized fingerprint. It's mathematically impossible for anyone to tamper with it. It's a kind of certainty that older systems, say ones that rely on SMS or mobile networks, could never, ever guarantee.
So you can see how this one elegant solution for freelancers is a game changer. But it's really just the beginning. Once you have a system that can create provable, automated trust between people, well, that opens the door to a whole new world of what's possible. I mean, just think about it for a second. Using these exact same building blocks, you could create all sorts of amazing things. You could have token exchanges that run themselves. You could have website logins that are truly secure without needing a password. You could run transparent voting for an entire community, or even set up automated profit sharing for a project. Basically, anything that relies on an agreement can be built on this foundation.
And that really leaves us with this huge, kind of exciting final thought. We just saw how we can solve a common problem by literally programming trust into the system. So it makes you wonder, if we can do that, what other parts of our world, what other agreements in our businesses or our communities could we completely reimagine if trust wasn't something we had to worry about, but was just a built-in feature?